Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm happy you could join me today. Hope this finds you well. I'm JQ Honey. I've been working on a CC-free base game only save file for The Sims 4 and now it is finally ready. That's what I'm showcasing here today. If you've been looking for a CC-free base game save like this one, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. This save file will contain all the lots I've built for Willow Creek, Oasis Springs, and Newcrest. Check out my channel for the build tours. You won't need any custom content, mods, or packs. You can still use this if you have other packs installed, but the other worlds will be as default. So, I've tried making my videos as short as possible, but it turns out nobody else really watches a full video unless it's less than a song's length. I spent a lot of time on this and I actually want to talk about my builds more, so I think for now I'll just go ahead and say everything I want. For starters, I began this project back in March of last year and there have been a few updates since then. Because of this, a few of the lots that I shared earlier on sorta became borked. So for this save file, I started afresh to fix whatever that needed fixing. They all involve the staircases, and the fix is very simple. First, remember to turn on Move Objects, because you might not want stuff to disappear in the third step. Then, you just need to take the fence tool and hold down the control key while drawing a fence right at the top of the stairs where it meets the upper floor. If a new floor shows up like this, just take the hammer tool and obliterate. Ta-da! The other thing is with staircases leading to the basements. I mentioned this in my Willow Creek video before. You'll need to put in a new staircase like so. I only added these new walls for aesthetics. They're not necessary to the fix. It's the same for all lots by all builders. If your Sims are unable to get to the upper floors, check for the invisible fence on top of the stairs. However, it's a tad more complicated with 19 Courtyard Lane because it has a taller foundation and these roofs on top of half walls. With BB Move Objects on, first get the roofs out of the way. Then, raise the basement up to meet the ground level. Then, make a U-shaped staircase, like in the pictures, and place it as intended. Remove the invisible fence here, and replace the roofs again. Ta-da! As for the households, I just kept the EA pre-mades. I edited their wardrobes and added some relationships and careers. The BFFs are now actually good friends with each other. Summer and Liberty are BFFs, and they both have a little crush on Travis, like the household panel intended. I also refurnished the lot a tiny bit to house them specifically. Summer inherited this from her parents and is renting out the extra bedrooms to her friends. I moved the pancakes to the lot next door. They live in the ground floor apartment, and in my head, Eliza is looking to rent out the space upstairs, so I left it furnished. Their marriage isn't doing too well and they're not very popular, although Eliza is friends with Alice. The Goths are still an upstanding family. I gave Mortimer and Bella a couple of promotions to justify their bills somewhat. They're also friends with a few of the other adults in the world. Bella and Geoffrey are friends from work and she had known the Landgrabs since before they disowned Johnny. Cassandra is the only teen in Willow Creek, so I figured she must feel quite lonely. She's not too close with her parents, and her only friends are her brother, his closest friend, and Liberty, because I feel like Liberty is more part of the younger crowd than others. She doesn't like Malcolm very much because who does? The Spencer Kim Lewis is one of the households I never played with before. The grandparents are properly retired, so they should have some money come in to pay the bills. Vivian was a chef and still enjoys cooking fancy dishes. Dennis was making banks in investment, but now is starting to enjoy tending to his garden. The breadwinner for this household is actually Alice, who's quite high up in the painter career and whose paintings sell for mad simoleons. Eric is not the nicest sim, so he's not very popular among the masses. But he's a good dad to his daughter and a loving husband to Alice, which is more important. Olivia is such a sweet girl, she's good friends with her parents and grandparents. Over in Oasis Springs, they also all know each other as they should. I moved Johnny to the lot opposite, and he's had some success in his career, so he could afford the nice things in his new trailer home. He's in the Landgrab family tree now, and his family had started to hate him less, but after seeing how he was doing great on his own, Nancy and Malcolm just started hating him again. The Roomies is another household that I've never played before. I used Zoe as a side character in my Sim story before, but all I did was pose her for pics. Now I do kind of like her. She's now a freelance artist instead of a freeloader, and she's good friends with Gavin and Mitchell. She doesn't like Jay very much for the same reason she doesn't like Dawn. She's not too fond of the Calientes in general, except for Dina. She and Johnny are currently exploring a romantic relationship. The boys used to be close, but after countless times of having to clean up after Mitchell, Gavin has started to feel really annoyed with him. I changed Jay's career so he's an athlete now to reflect his aspiration and personality better. Mitchell is now head dishwasher, so hopefully he could afford rent now. He also has a little crush on Nina. I moved the Calientes to the lot next door and housed Dawn in the semi-detached guest room. Katrina is definitely a Karen to me, and now she looks the part. Nobody likes a Karen, except her favorite child, her boy toy, and Nancy Landgrab, whom she worships and aspires to become, and also kinda hate. Dawn has tried to hit on all of the women of Oasis Springs, but haven't yet made the opportunity to move in on his lover's daughters. He and Jay are friends and often each other's wingmen. Dina and Nina look a bit like their Sims 2 versions, but I kept their personalities and aspirations. Dina is actually kind of into Jay, but she's also focusing on her career. Nina only recently set out to become a criminal mastermind. After all the pranks on everyone grew tiresome. Quite a few people dislike her now. Apart from her family, Mitchell seems to be the only person who understands the struggle to pick up one's feet and hold down a job. It is the Landgrab's business to at least be acquainted with everyone, so they kinda are. The base game doesn't have a medical career, so Jeffrey is still in espionage. He wasn't the one to disown Johnny, so they're friends again after all these years. Not that Nancy is aware. She's very busy playing the stock market and earning all the simoleons. She dotes on Malcolm, but hates that Johnny has absolutely no need of her or her money. Malcolm somehow managed to be the worst kind of Sim. He knows everyone, but almost half of them dislike him. He doesn't care though. His future is made with the Landgrab fortune. Or is it? Newcrest came empty, so other than my builds, there's nothing else. I did make a few households for Newcrest when I first started out, but it's not enough for an entire save. And that concludes today's showcase. Thank you so much for sticking through it with me. All the lots and edited households are available now on the gallery. I'll also share the households I made in case anyone wants them. All CC free and base game only, of course. Now let me show you how to get this save file in your game. First of all, remember to back up your save folder. Follow the link in the description and it should take you to my Patreon post for this save file. Download the version that you want and save it in your saves folder. If you already have a save file with the same number, edit my save file number. Once it's done downloading, just start your game as usual and load my save. It should be named JQ Base Game Save with my sim self on it. You must create a household and or play one before you could delete me, okay? Otherwise it will likely crash. Hope you remember to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. See you next time. Bye!